Although the Kabalarian philosophy was established as a legal entity in 1936, its teachings may be said to predate recorded history. This is a philosophy of life in its entirety, and it provides answers to life's questions which have been sought and lost throughout the ages. There are indications that the great mathematician and philosopher Pythagoras understood the mathematical principle as taught today in the Kabalarian philosophy. In 200 BC, the Essenes practiced a disciplined and progressive lifestyle for nearly 400 years. Their way of life was very much in accord with the philosophy's teachings. The religions in the East have lost much of the original understanding of earlier philosophies, but still retain some customs, such as yoga breathing and the awareness of the solar plexus as the body battery, which are explained by the study of the Kabalarian philosophy. The Great Pyramid of Giza contains within its structure a demonstration of the mathematical principles of life, and the very same symbolism can be found in the Christian Bible as well as in the majority of established religions in the world today. The mathematical principle is truly universal. The founder of the Kabalarian philosophy dedicated his life to an understanding of the principles of our existence. That man was Alfred J. Parker. Born in England in 1897, Mr. Parker demonstrated his inquiring turn of mind early in life. In his youth, Mr. Parker was deeply affected by the recurring health problems of his mother. She was a religious woman who did not seem to deserve such suffering. This apparent contradiction was enough to stimulate Mr. Parker's thinking to question life and its religions, and he was not satisfied with the answers given by established sources. As he grew older, and throughout the family's migration to Winnipeg, Cranbrook, Montesano, Washington, and then Vancouver, BC, Mr. Parker pondered life and investigated every religion and philosophy that he was able to contact and read about. Again, none of them could provide satisfactory answers to his questions about life. Then, while he was working in Washington, Mr. Parker met the two men who were to most greatly influence his life and help him in his search for truth. The first, Wasson, was a teacher of yoga. During the years of their friendship, Mr. Parker learned many of the Eastern concepts and practices. This included the energizing power of deep breathing. Later he met Swami Ray Mohandatta, who was able to further his understanding of the myriad expressions of human mind. There came a point, however, when the Swami could no longer answer Mr. Parker's questions, other than to say that the answer to life lay in mathematics. That key was all important to the discovery of the mathematical principle. Once the crucial link had been made, Mr. Parker began to test and prove his theories and taught his findings. Mr. Parker returned to Vancouver, BC in 1929, where he wrote a column for the Vancouver Sun and was involved in the radio series in which he was known as the Practical Philosopher. While Mr. Parker worked with abstract and universal concepts, he never lost sight of the immediate and practical needs of people. For instance, while he was building a philosophical organization and teaching his discoveries, he was able to help his mother and many others to regain good health. By 1936, classes had grown and Mr. Parker was beginning to plan the incorporation of the Kabalarian philosophy. Mr. Parker coined the word Kabalarian to denote those seeking wisdom. The word is derived from the Hebrew word Kabal, which means to receive wisdom. 1941 saw the purchase of 1160 West 10th Avenue as the residence of the Parker family and the nucleus of the Kabalarian organization. During the 40s, many public presentations were given. In 1949, the organization opened its first building, the Manhattan. Mr. Parker spent the 1950s and early 60s giving classes, lecturing, touring the West Coast, developing other centers, and wrote many books. He left extensive writing on all aspects of life, as well as numerous audio tapes of his many classes and lectures. Mr. Parker passed away in 1964, having helped thousands of people improve their lives. The Kabalarian philosophy has grown to be a strong, progressive organization which continues to further the ideals and visions set in motion by its founder. Currently, the Kabalarian philosophy is operated by a board of directors. Many volunteers continue to further the ideals and foundation as set out by Mr. Parker by participating and teaching the various concepts as taught in the Kabalarian philosophy. The mathematical principle is not new, but its application to language is new to contemporary Western thought. Mr. Parker's ideal was to make the mathematical principle available to every seeking mind throughout the world. He sought to teach people that their existence has a purpose, and that with the knowledge of the mathematical principle, they have the power to take control of their lives. The idealism of the East, combined with the practicality of the West, that is the essence of Kabalarian teachings. That knowledge creates power, and that power allows one to create and control his or her own destiny.